So one thing I want to go over, because it kind of threw me for a loop a little bit, was here's the old XS650 jugs that are getting trashed, basically. One thing that definitely made me go, what the hell, was that on the new jugs, there's where the cam chain guide bolts in, there's just like huge bolt holes there, like maybe like M8, M6, something like that, like big bolts. Or wait, am I doing this wrong? M6 is, so yeah, like M12, let's say. Yeah, sorry. So I was like, what the hell, man? So I go and I look at my stock heads, and I see that these guys need to be taken out. See? Now you got the big ass bolt hole that you were looking at before. Live and learn. But yeah, that made me go, what? For a second. And then another thing to note on the new jugs, on the 750 jugs, is the cam chain tensioner itself. You see, like, it's got this big rectangle port here on the stock ones. On the new one, it's just like a big circle, big bolt hole right in there. And the reason for that is that when I actually put the cam chain tensioner back on, you'll see what I mean. But basically, like, I think it's like a much better design, believe it or not, that the acorn nut that kind of holds it in place, and you know, tighten that up to set your cam chain tension, that's what you take. Like, there's no sort of base plate that this one has. They did away with it, and they just did one big bolt there, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, just wanted to go over that, because if I was confused about it, someone else was going to be confused about it for sure. Alright, I tried my best to get all the crud off of here with that brittle disc. I did okay. Like, I didn't want to remove the studs, so, you know, I worked around it. But for the rest of this, I think just giving it a good wipe down with acetone and then using the sealer should get me in the ballpark at least. So here's a little acetone. And acetone is great just because it removes everything. Like, it is just the best stuff. Like, whenever I'm doing welding, like whenever I'm doing like finishing welding, or if I'm doing any sort of work where I want to get the metal or the material as clean as possible prior, I always use acetone. This stuff is great. And it's cheap as shit, and it's readily available. So yeah, it's good. It does smell bad though, but most things that work do smell bad. I'm living proof of that. We're just gonna finish this up, and then we can start actually laying down the cylinder. Actually, I think the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to put down the gasket sealer here, and what I'm using is gasket cinch, and I'm using it because it is very viscous, or it's not very. Whatever makes it like really soupy and not very, I guess, high viscosity, I guess, is what I'm looking for here. Yeah, let me just make sure that this gasket fits first. Actually, I have it on wrong. I'll do that first, and then I'll take it back off, coat both sides with gasket cinch, and then we will be ready to put this guy on here. Yeah, okay. So it goes like that. Alright, whatever. Don't break the gasket, Mike. Don't break the gasket. Okay, yeah, that fits. And just feed these guys through. Okay. And obviously oops. There we go. That's a little... Oh, you know what? This is backwards. I'm stupid. So I was looking at him like, that's kind of weird. There's some surface here. Well, duh, because you put it on backwards, Mike. It should be green side up, stupid. Whatever. I know it fits. That's good enough. That's good enough information for me to go off of. So now, let's feed this through again. And I'm going to try my best to do this without any help or without any special tools. It is possible. It just takes a really, really a lot of effort. But we'll see. See if I'm man enough to do it alone. I do everything on these videos alone, so why would this be a different thing? Pardon. Okay, so this actually goes... I think that might be the only way to... Well, let me see. So that... I think that... Strange. That is the only way it goes on. Huh. Okay, let me line it up to this. It might be that the mating surface on the on this guy is slightly different. I think that's what the case. I think that's the case. What I'm doing off camera right now is I'm checking the fit of the gasket on the 750 jugs just to see if it fits reasonably well. And yeah, it's good enough. Like, it'll do the job, I guess. But it's like there's really only one way that this can go on because of the dowels that are on there. The dowels are very specific. It's 2 of them, so you basically line the gasket up to where the dowels are, and that's how you put it on. So if the dowel, it basically goes that way, green side down. Well, whatever. There's no other way of doing it, so okay, that's fine. All right, whatever. Let's put the gasket cinch on there. Now I'm gonna put my gloves on for this because I do just want to literally smear it on. And if you guys notice, I'm changing out gloves really frequently because, you know, if you use gloves for a little while, you'll get stuff stuck to them and shit. And, you know, the last thing that you want to be doing is transferring stuff from you onto the mating surface. So I'm trying to avoid that best I can. However, I don't know. You know, it might be easier if I just put this directly on the... If I put it directly on this, on the gasket itself, probably be the easiest way of doing this. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, that's the easiest way of doing it. Oops, too much. Now what I like about this stuff is that because it's kind of runny, it kind of flattens itself out quite well. So your concerns of it squishing into the combustion chamber, like squishing into the engine and causing all these issues, it's not really going to do that. Like this will hold it in place just fine. And actually, I'm going to put a little bit on the surface. Oop, that's a lot of bit. Uh-oh. Just a little light coating, and we should be fine. And just a little smear. Don't go crazy. Excuse me. And then a little under here. Okay, cool. Alright, gasket goes on. Let's feed these guys up through again. Wait, make sure that my baling wire stays in place. Here we go. Okay. We're good. Come on, buddy. Alright, cool. Down we go. Lay that on top. Kind of place her where it needs to be. This really looks like it's backwards. Like, this does not look right. But the friggin' dowel pins are different. What the hell? This really doesn't look right. Okay. What the fuck am I doing? I have to take this. I'm gonna take this off again. I think Mike's might have made a mistake, or maybe I'm just not seeing something correctly here, because there's definitely some overlap occurring that should not be occurring. So let me just take this off. I might just have to cut it, and you know, where the dowel pins are on my actual bike might have to be modified on this gasket, because there's no way in hell that this thing is going to like work the way that it is right now, unless I've just been fucking around with the wrong gasket, which is definitely possible. Where's the other gasket? No, this is the head gasket. Yeah, so it is this gasket. Oh, it's so weird. It's like it's not where it's supposed to be. Very strange. Like, this is the, like, if we're going off gasket surfaces, just in general, like, this is how it should be. Because now it covers all surfaces. What the fucking, that's weird. That's really weird. Let me look at something. Alright, I had to look at a stock base gasket. I had to compare and contrast a little bit there just to make sure, but yeah, this one does fit. It is correct, you just got to orient it correctly, and I just was not looking at it correctly. I was being dumb. And like usual, the problem is not the tool, it's the person behind it. And I am a tool. So anyways, what next? Let's actually lower the friggin' cylinder down and put the wrist pins in and, you know, complete this friggin' job. I gotta grab parts. I'll be back. Okay, moment of truth time. It's time to lower the cylinder down in. Put the wrist pins in. Put the circlips on those. Then lower it down. Clean the surface as best I can for the XS650 jugs, and pray to God, or whatever I believe in. So anyways, step uno. found its home, I think. Yep, definitely did. Okay. This one's sitting on top of the wrist pin, so just that one in there. Okay. Forgot about that guide. Now let me see what I can do to make sure that this doesn't like completely fall out. Oops. Oop, get back in there. Get back in there. You know what? I'll just do this. Make sure they're both in. What I'm doing is I'm positioning the rods, just making sure that they're not. Okay. God damn it, I have to do this on camera? Seriously? Okay. Now what can I use to make sure that this doesn't fall? I have a shoebox. Maybe that'll work. Holy shit, it kind of does. Wow. Nope, it didn't. I thought it did, but it didn't. Come on, shoebox. Nope. Oh, what else? Oh, this part sucks. I always look like a jackass when I do it. What can I do? Something. Hold it in place. That kind of works. Yeah, sure. Why not? That works. Okay. Now what? Wrist pins. Oh, fuck, really? The box I'm using has my wrist pins in it. Hang on. Yeah, you can go down there for that, whatever. I wonder if I will edit any of this out. Or I'll just be lazy. I'll probably just be lazy. Par for the course, right? Anyways, let's get you guys in there. Okay. Alright, so now I think I can do this. So let's just get these guys in there. Step uno. Let's just slide the wrist pins in. And I don't know how I'm going to show this on camera. So I probably won't. But basically, I'm going to keep rotating the, what do you call it? I'm going to keep rotating the engine until I see the rod in a place where I can slide in the wrist pin. It's about right there, actually. Come on, buddy. Did I get it? I did get it. Sweet. Alright, so that's one side. Now the fun part of trying to put my C-clamp in there. Actually, let me do the other side, and then I'll put the clamps on both sides later. Just so that the rod isn't bouncing around in there aimlessly. Yeah, and basically I was using the magneto to rotate the engine around so that I could see the where the rod was. But basically, there's no good way of showing you this, so sorry. Cool. Alright. So both the wrist pins are in. Now I'm going to struggle with putting the clips. Actually, you know what? First things first, while it's here, I should probably feed the cam chain up through the guide so I don't have to deal with that later, because that'll be an enormous pain in the rump. So what just happened here? Yeah. Don't force it, Miguel. Damn, I need like 8 fucking hands to do this. Anyways. Let's get this cam chain in here and get you home. It's time to go home. Okay, that was not difficult. Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this around here so that it doesn't fall. And now the other side, cam chain guide, or not cam chain guide, just cam chain in general. No. Feed you through the top. I said feed you through the top. Come on, buddy. Just let me modify this a little bit. Make it so it's a little bit more of a straight line, easier to deal with. There we go. Alright. Come on, buddy. You're so close. You're so close. Oh man, it's on the back of the... It's getting hooked on the... Oh, there we go. Sweet. Alrighty. So... both sides. Awesome. Cool. Now the cam chain guides are where they're... or the cam chains are where they're supposed to be. Now I can stick in... Whew, moving right along. Now I can stick in the circlips and then prep the surfaces on the bottom side of the jugs, ready to get sealed forever. But man, that was a fucking long video. 10 minutes of me just fucking around. Alright, I finally got those wrist pins in. Or the wrist, not the wrist pins, the circlips for the wrist pins. And god damn it, that's so fucking stressful. Like, only pro tip I can really give here is just make sure that you put paper in all these like little crevices here, because the circlip will want to go sprawling and go anywhere. So the last place that you do want it is going into the engine, into the sump. So you know, just put some shop towels in there and just make sure that it's not gonna go fucking flying all over the place. Anyways, let's friggin' get this guy ready to seat on there. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to rub the underside of the jugs with some acetone. Now obviously these guys have been machined from the factory, and you know, they're probably in really awesome shape, but you know, it's never a bad idea to err on the side of caution. Use a little acetone to help soothe your mind and have your worries go away. There we go. Okay. And then the last bit that we're gonna do is put a little bit of that there gasket glue on. And then lower her down. And then, holy crap, the hard part is over. Actually, I'm going to do this with my hand. It's probably the easier way of doing it. More precise. And I just put that on the engine. Awesome. No, whatever. Here I'm talking about being more precise, and what do? I just fuck it all up. I just fuck it all up, man. Don't want to actually get any on the piston, so gotta be careful. Alright, let's get the other side. Let me actually put myself in an optimal position here. That'll help, alright? Cool. Awesome. Okay. And now that I've touched this gasket stuff to my gloves, come on, I'm gonna switch my gloves. Alright, now I'm going to wrestle lowering this thing down. Alright, we are on. The only thing I had to do to get the cylinder to drop into place correctly was just, you know, lengthen out the chains, just make sure that the chains are at full tension. And I just put a little bit of downward pressure on this because I don't want the jugs to move around, but next thing you want to do is test it. Make sure that it moves through its life cycle without any binding or bad noise or anything like that. And guess what, guys? We're done.